So today we're going to make some beer. We're going to make an Australian lager. My take on a VB Carlton Draft style beer. And it looks like this. Around about 26 IBUs, so a little bit of bitterness, using Australian hops, Australian barley. This is what we're going to make. A refreshing Aussie Lager. Nothing better. Okay, we start off by adding our water, 43 litres of filtered Gold Coast water. Here's our water chemicals we're adding in now. And in this one here we have 20 litres of sparge water. We'll heat this one up to 80 degrees. This one's going to heat up to 65 degrees, which is our strike water temperature. So these are the water additives that we have. We've got the lactic acid for changing the pH. We've got magnesium sulfate, calcium sulfate and calcium chloride. We've also got a Camden tablet. That's the one that gets rid of the chlorine in our town water. Okay, so now it's time to add the grains to get our grain bill happening. So, we have 8 kilos of Atlas malt, which is a pale malt. We'll put 8 kilos in. Next we're going to add in half a kilo of light crystal. This will add a golden hue to our beer. There we go. Half a kilo of crystal, and we'll also add half a kilo of carapils. This will give a bit better mouthfeel and also some good head retention. So there we go, that takes us up to 9 kilos for our grain bill. Next step is to mill the grains. I have a gap of about 1 millimetre on my mill here. And this is about the consistency that you want. Not too fine, and just enough to crack the husks. Okay. We've got our strike water up to 65 degrees now. That's exactly where we want it to be. So now we'll add the grains in. We put our basket in the Brewzilla. So we'll add the grains in. Right, that's about half. Give them a bit of a stir. Make sure everything's really wet. Then we'll add the rest of the grain. And we'll use our stirrer. crystal clear, it's looking really good. So it's time to sparge now. So off with the pump. So now we're going to drain all that liquid out, and we're going to put 15 litres of the sparge water to rinse out all the grains. So we're just coming up to the boil now, so it's time for our first hop addition. 45 grams of a classic Australian hop, Pride of Ringwood. So we're only going to boil for 30 minutes, so that's our 30-minute additions. So now we've got our 20-minute addition, which is a further 20 grams of Pride of Ringwood. So the 45 grams of Pride of Ringwood for 30 minutes will give us about 19 IBUs, and that 20 should give us around about another 7, so giving us a total of about 26 IBUs. So our 15-minute addition is a Werflock and some yeast nutrients. And our final boil addition is 500 grams of raw sugar. Classic Australian adjunct. That'll raise the alcohol level up to about 5.5%. Alright, that's the end of the boil. So we turn the heat off. We'll do a bit of a whirlpool, just to collect all the hop debris down the bottom. Turn on the whirlpool pump, and we'll let that go for about 15 minutes. Righto, pump off, and we're going to put this . In the cubes, let them cool down overnight, and it should be just about a temperature for putting in the fermenters. If we have a look in here, you can see why we use look at that nice little hop cone there. And there we are. 2 cubes, 21 litres in each, enough for 2 batches. We'll use some Diamond Lager yeast as we transfer into the fermenters. So they'll sit in the fridge there for 2 weeks. We'll do 13 degrees for 4 days, then we'll raise it to 16 degrees for 3 days, 19 degrees for 3 days, and then we'll cold crash down to 3 degrees for 3 days.